So, all right, let's get on to the news. Now, these first couple stories, I've got three of them, right? I only sent you two, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't sound like you guys read them anyway. So, but there's a third one. I can't remember if we did it or not, or if I had it in the queue to do, but we never did. Anyway, these three are all related. And they're all from spacenews.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to illustrate the future of space travel, right? So, but first, I want to lay the groundwork. So now think back to when we invented the automobile, right? So I invented the car, and it drove from here to there, and they were like, great. And then they were like, hey, we want this car to go further. So what they invent? They invented the gas station, right? And then they're like, hey, this car needs some maintenance. So what they invent? They invented the mechanic. They're like, hey, this car's a piece of shit, doesn't run anymore. So then they invented the junkyard. Well, all that's coming to space, baby. That's all coming to space. So the first story, it came out back in January, so I can't remember if we did it. So, but Northrop Grumman's orbital refueling port is now selected for U.S. military satellites. So they're going to put what they call a passive refueling module on all future satellites. So it's like a gas nozzle with nothing to go to it yet, but they're going to.
It's like an EV plug-in.
Yes, like an EV plug-in. A satellite refueling nozzle developed by Northrop Grumman is the first to be selected as a preferred standard for U.S. military satellites, the company announced back in January. In a move that could shape the on-orbit or in-orbit satellite servicing market, the U.S. Space Force's Space System Command designated Northrop Grumman's passive refueling module, or the PRM, as a favored interface to enable future in-space refueling of military satellites. The PRM has a docking mechanism to allow a refueling vehicle in orbit to transfer propellant to another satellite to extend its useful life, right? So, sorry. I was going to show you something, but that's not yet.
Marty, I think when we talked about this, they hadn't narrowed it down. They had been talking about multiple different options.
That's right. They had, but I think they've chosen them now, and they're just like, okay, here's all your money, Northrop. Go develop this shit.
Yeah, we should really start investing in these things when we read the article,
right? That's
because we've literally missed out on big bumps,
tons
from
of money,
big bumps from L3 Harris,
Boeing,
yeah, that's a good point.
Well, Boeing, maybe not so much,
but
there's prior.
Hey, but Jake Carson is up like $20 a share since I know, like in the last 2 years. It's crazy.
There's a company coming that's Japanese that you might want to invest in. So, Northrop Grumman also has secured a Space Force contract of undisclosed value to develop a dedicated tanker satellite for geosync orbit missions that would carry up to 1,000 kilograms of hydrazine and deliver fuel in space. The flying gas station named geosync. Now, did they come up with the acronym first or the name first? You guys decide. It's named Geosynchronous Auxiliary Support Tanker, or GAS-T.
GAS-T.
It'll be built on a Northrop Grumman ESPA Star D-ring shaped bus, a relatively large platform of nearly 2,000 kilograms. So here is the GAS-T. So there's your future Buckies right there. Right?
Nice.
I need a hat.
So that's what Hey, I went to a GAS-T and all I got was this stupid hat.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got the gas station. All right. So what's next? We need the mechanics. So on another story, on-orbit servicing mission plan for military satellite in 2025. In a mission targeted for 2025, a robot satellite in geostationary orbit will rendezvous with a military satellite and attempt to affix a new imaging sensor payload on the spacecraft.
Nice.
The servicing vehicle equipped with a robot arm. Here. This is what it looks like. And I think that's the artist depiction. I assume the one with the arms is the one they're talking about. But it doesn't really tell you much more than that. So that's how far along they are in the concept. The servicing vehicle equipped with a robot arm developed by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and the Naval Research Laboratory, so DARPA and the
DARPA.
Naval Research Laboratory, will seek to connect the payload to the satellite's launch adapter ring. This ring, which originally connected the satellite to the rocket during launch, will provide the attach point for an electro-optical imaging sensor payload developed by the startup Catalyst Space Technologies. The Mission Robotics Vehicle, MRV, which is the one on top, I believe, that will perform this mission is being built by Northrop Grumman subsidiary Space Logistics. The MRV is a commercial vehicle that Space Logistics will use to service client satellites. The company in 2020 signed a cooperative agreement with DARPA that allows the MRV to deploy the robotic arm. Once launched, MRV is designed to stay on orbit for 10 years,
Wow.
scooting around in space from one repair job to the next. That's from the article. That's not from me.
That's going to create an international incident.
So it's going to do that. And then it's going to go, hey, I need some gas. Then we're going to go, go hook up to the gas T, right? And then come back and fix Flight 21 that's been up there forever.
Yeah.
Well, from all the
you look
space
at it
junk-
from our adversary perspective, though, and as soon as you put pinchy hands on something,
That's right.
it's going to purple nurple something in space, you know.
How hard would it be?
They're not going to be happy.
No, they're not. But this is all up front, right? This is all up front. Because the automobile, when it was first invented, was just a way to get from here to there. Who would have thought?
But it's developed by DARPA.
But who would have thought we would put a gun on the automobile? Same thing here, right?
That's exactly it.
This is just a gas tank. That's
I
all
don't
this
think you
is.
got too much worry. Based on 2 weeks ago when we did the story of space junk, it ain't going to be able to freaking
No
move.
shit. Well,
Can't move anywhere.
I'm going to show you something with their artist display of space junk. So we got the gas station, we got the mechanic, right? So what do we need now? We need the junkyard. So this last story is making light work of space junk removal. Sky Perfect JSAT, Japan's. Here's our investment opportunity. Japan's flagship geostationary satellite operator announced the creation of a startup in January that would use in-orbit lasers to stabilize tumbling space junk and put it on a course to burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. Weren't we joking about that a couple of weeks ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
The
We were
venture,
wondering.
the venture Orbital Lasers is developing spacecraft that would fire a laser at a defunct object, ablating the material on the surface to generate thrust for changing its orientation and location. The startup, Orbital Lasers, there's our investment opportunity, does not expect to perform active debris removal services for commercial constellation operators and governments any sooner than 2029. However, it plans to have a laser payload as early as March 2025 that it could sell to Astroscale, ClearSpace, Rogue Space Systems, or another robotic debris cleaning venture just getting started to use for stabilizing a tumbling object, making a capture and deorbit mission easier. So those who scoffed at, should I invest in waste management? They're fucking trash, man, right? Here's your waste management investment opportunity. And here's the video from the company to explain how this is going to work.
Sky Perfect JSAT has been addressing the issue of space debris as part of our efforts
Look
to
at all that
support
debris.
a sustainable space environment. To
Holy
further this
shit.
initiative,
Is that
we have
hilarious
launched a
or
new
what?
company, Orbital Lasers, to expand space businesses that utilize a laser specifically designed for space debris removal.
Woo!
And it's just as simple as
Space
this.
debris removal business. Orbital Lasers will engage in space debris removal, aiming to improve the space environment. Using a laser at a
What
safe
could go wrong if
distance,
you miss?
it can control the orientation of rotating space debris that would otherwise be uncontrollable.
Look at that. Just like that.
Slowly moving it into the atmosphere for removal.
Burn up.
It's just space junk that we're shooting
We-
a laser at.
Yeah.
I don't know what's.
We all
I don't know
we
what's
all
worse,
agree
pinky
that
hands
shit.
Or,
yeah.
Pinchy hands or a laser shooting you right in the ass?
I mean, I remember the Sivers floor, that GSO side. There wasn't always everyone with perfect. Some had wonky eyes. You know, you hit the button. Ooh.
Wonky eyes. I like that. So
I
there we
remember
go.
Vandenberg having protesters out front saying no lasers in space, no nukes in space.
Well, that was a normal
Like,
occurrence.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the
Is that
with the
right after
gospel.
Space Cowboys came out or what?
Oh, that was
Great movie, by
Oh,
the way. I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
yeah.
It was good to watch the actors interact.
Oh yeah.
The premise was a bit Armageddon. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a bit
the actors
Armageddon.
made the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. You got your space gas attendant, right?
Yep.
You got
All
your
three
space
are much
grease
needed.
monkey and a space waste management engineer.
And you
So-
know what's going to happen, right? Neither of them, all three of them, they're not going to be able to communicate with each other. So they're just going to be fucking running around looking for each other the whole time. They won't be able to talk each other. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen.
That's what Space Force is for, Eric.
Yeah.
God damn. You're so short-sighted on this, man.
Space bag.
I like it, but what's the range? What's the effectiveness?
I remember taking a what the hell was that course? The advanced course way back when about space offense and defense.
Space 200.
No. It was the other one. Shit, I can't remember what it was called. I don't even know if they have it anymore. But they were talking about space lasers and all that other shit. And they're like, yeah, this is our concept. We're nowhere ever fucking close to getting enough power to power enough, these lasers.
Howard.
that was always a problem.
Yeah. I mean, the airborne laser that was supposed to just fly around a big C-47 or 747, just waiting to blast a enemy's missile.
Yeah.
And then it was like the amount of time that the laser at its power had to stay on the same spot on that missile. Was like, yeah, I think hypersonic just blew that all out of the water, right? So, plus they didn't have enough power to make it work properly.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
And those chemicals, dude.
chemical
R.I.P.
lasers.
anyone had to mess with them because I heard they were awful.
Oh,
I actually
yeah,
worked
I'm
with I worked with an engineer that that worked on that for years.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he'll have cancer. That he won't get compensated for.
He
it.
was the engineer. I don't think he messed with any of the chemicals. Yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't sugarcoat
I'm
that.
sure
one,
his
did you,
left
Marty?
nipple fell
Well,
off.
everything else causes cancer. I mean, the fire foam, the missile guys are getting
Yeah.
it. The tankers
Yep.
are getting it.
The pilots from the F-15.
The F-14s that were
14.
sitting right on top of the FLIR are getting cancer. It's just like,
Jesus.
God damn. So, Josh, you did actually the military that generally treated you pretty poorly probably did you the biggest favor by getting you out of
Yeah.
there. And they're like,
Yeah, I tell you, yeah. They tried to talk me into ringing up, and I was I was like, no, thank you. And they're like, oh, but think about it. And I'm like, nope. So it was.
You were
I
tempted.
said no.
I was tempted. Then I got
And
yelled at,
then
and then I told everyone to kick rocks. And
you are legendary for that farewell speech.
you're cool.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I went from
Your
them
mother
wanting me
and
to
you.
them saying, "Hey, you can go out a couple."
In
weeks
fact,
early.
I retired in 2013, and we were still telling that story in different squadrons.
Really?
Oh yeah, that was very famous story. Yeah, yeah.
I guess I don't
Legendary, if you
I
will.
don't remember it as funny as I guess others.
You just gotta let some time go by, and of course you were a little too invested in it. But those who weren't,
Yeah, exactly.
really enjoyed it. So, thank you for that. Thank you for that.